Hi everyone, welcome back to Nature is Holly. How's everybody today? I thought I would jump on and do a quick video. As you can tell from the title, my best friend is an ex-convict. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, probably from I got his permission to discuss some things, and hopefully in a future video he'll pop on here with me, and we'll do like a challenge or we'll do something fun. He's a really fun guy. So let's get into it. So my best friend is an ex-convict. Um, I met him back in 2014. I want to say it's been 2014. So when I met Chris, when I met him, he was already he had already done what he done, been involved in what he'd been involved in, and been charged. Okay, so when I met him, he was kind of in a dark place because of the circumstances he was going through. And of course, I come into his life, hello. So we were like that ever since we first met. I remember the very first time we met, it was at a Tim Hortons, and we had a coffee together and a lovely chat. And I think the very first conversation we had, he's like, I'm up on charges. Like, I'm up on charges. I might be going to jail. You know what I mean? And that was some of the conversation. And I remember we joked around a lot, and we just connected like that immediately. I would refer to him as probably like one of my soulmates. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would probably call him that. For sure. For like, our souls are connected, and they always will be. And so, me and Chris, we did a lot of fun stuff together. We went to the beaches and drives, and we'd go out and have a bite to eat. Now, he was very limited on what he could do and couldn't do because he was under conditions at that time as well. So he wasn't after going to jail at this time, didn't know if he was going to jail. He was just up on charges. And as you know, it's a lengthy process when you're up on charges. It can be, depending what the charges are, how many you have, things like that. And like, every justice system works different in different parts of the world and different parts of Canada. I know that the jails here in Newfoundland are different than the ones in other parts of Canada. We'll get into that. Hold on now, let me just shut that a little bit. Okay. Do you like the setup? So anyways, West Coast, East Coast, baby. I'm East Coast. But anyways, so pretty normal friendship, relationship. Chris and I did date for a little bit, and due to the circumstances he was under and things like that, we were really limited on what we could do and what we couldn't do and things of that nature. So, we decided to be best friends. We decided that we were going to be best friends, and we were going to, and that's a touchy subject there when I talk about if we're friends, if we're more than friends. Like, right now, we're just really good friends, and we won't need to go into too much detail about what it was at that time. That's fine. We're just going to move forward from that. And we would do normal things like go to the gym together all the time. Two of us, the passion of ours is the gym, and he is one of the funniest people, one of the nicest, kindest people that I've ever met in my entire life. He really is. So the way it went was, we met. We were best friends for a number of years. And I'm not joking, like a number of years before he got actually sentenced, right? So we were living our lives for like 2.5 years, coming on 3 years, living our best life we could as best friends in each other's lives every single day. I mean, he depended on me a lot, like a lot, and I depended on him too. Like, I depended on him too. We were like that, right? And anyway, he gets a call. He gets a call a couple years later, and and obviously he had to go and sign in every week down to the police station and things like that. There was like a whole list of things he could and couldn't do and had to do and had to, you know what I mean? It was just rocky. And he does have children, so it really made it hard for him, like, to see his kids, and everything was just such a struggle for him. And I just remember feeling so, like, helpless with certain situations in his life because there was literally nothing I could do. All I could do was bring happiness to his life and try and distract him from all of that and just treat him normal because he is normal. We all fuck up, we all make mistakes. Doesn't make you a bad person, even if you did do the crime. Okay, everybody makes mistakes in their life and everybody deserves love. Okay, and I'm not saying let people mistreat you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody deserves love. They deserve a chance. So I gave him one. I gave him lots of chances, actually. Lots. So he finally got the call and realized that, his court dates, things like that. There was numerous court dates, numerous court appearances. He didn't want me to go because he knew I'd be in there bawling because I'm like a big baby, and like he wouldn't let me go. Like there was once or twice he said I could go if I wanted to, but I just I don't think I ever went to one of his court appearances. Oh, that's a lie. I think I did go to one of his court appearances, but anyways, we'll move past that. So it came the day, finally, like we're going to fast forward all the details and stuff. It came to the day that he got sentenced. So they told him, Christopher, and I'm not going to say his full name. So he found out that he has to go to jail. And he has X amount of days before he's put in the put locked up, away from society. He had like a month, or less than a month, right? That month before he went into jail was the hardest month with him. Oh my goodness gracious. Like I just felt so helpless. I took him out every day. There were certain days I had to take him by the hand, and like his birthday, like he went to jail after his birthday, and I remember on his birthday I took him by the hand, brought him into the grocery store, and I was like, pick out your cake, sweetheart, pick out your cake, pick out your candles, we're having a birthday for you, we're gonna do a good, we're gonna spend time together, we're gonna I was like this with him every day anyways. But his birthday, like he was like he wasn't allowed to see his kids, the mother of his kids wasn't letting him, he was going through all kinds of stuff. It's a friggin' sin, man. And like he knew he was going to jail. He knew his freedom was going to be completely gone. This was his first time being locked up. He didn't 100% know what to expect. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen to you while you're incarcerated. There's gangs in there. There's a lot of things going on. Rat shit in the food. Yeah. I had to call and get him out of the hole twice. That's me calling like 100 times a day, going crazy, get him out of that hole. Like he was in the hole for like no reason numerous times. Like we won't, anyways, he's a strong man. He's a strong fucker, okay? Really strong man internally. Like, because have you seen the way he broke down before he went to jail and how depleted he was, how out of it he was, mentally, physically drained. He couldn't do his workouts. He couldn't speak some days. He couldn't walk some days. He'd be leaning on me and trying to like when I said it was his birthday and I took him into the grocery store, he was literally holding on to my coat like a little kid while we went to go get his cake, like head down, like he was just gone. He was gone, right? And I felt so friggin' helpless, and I can't even imagine how he felt, right? Like I'm empathetic and I can put myself in his shoes sort of, but really when it comes to that, I can't fully engulf in how he felt, and I know it wasn't good how he felt. So fast forward, Chris gets incarcerated. Okay, my best friend gets taken away from me. My best friend, who I spent every freaking day with for like over 3 years, all of a sudden gets taken away from me. Okay, he got locked up in Her Majesty's Penitentiary, which is downtown St. John's. This penitentiary is from the 1800s. I am not kidding you. You look at some other prisons from like around the world, and they look like freaking vacations. Okay, I'm not saying they are. But I'm saying compared to Her Majesty's Penitentiary, which was supposed to be torn down many years ago, don't even know why it's still standing. That's where he had to go. So my dear, I was putting money in his commissary. I was down there 3 and 4 times a week visiting him. And I remember the very first time that I walked through the jail, because it was my first time in there ever. And I remember the first time I walked into the jail, this would have been like the second week he got locked up, because I don't think he was allowed visitors at first, and he had to get his number and his whatever and get in there and all that stuff. And I remember he was allowed visits like a week or two later. And I remember his mom was trying to visit him too. So me and his mom would like split up appointments, because each inmate is only allowed 3 appointments per week, 2 to 3 depending on availability. I was getting 4, so the guards liked me obviously and knew that I was best kind. And the very first time I went in to see Chris in jail, I dropped to my friggin' knees. This is my best friend. Seeing him in those clothes stuck behind that glass, having to sit down and talk to him through a dirty old phone. I'm there. I got like OCD, so I'm there with the hand. I'd be like, "Do you got a wet wipe?" And I'd be there with the wet wipe, washing the phone, like, "Christopher." And he's like, "Holly, will you stop crying? Like, stop it. You're going to make me cry. I can't fucking cry in here." Like, you know what I mean? Because he was like, he's very empathetic as well, and he could feel my emotions. He's like, "Give it up. Stop crying. Stop." Because he had like people around him who were after like killing people and things like that, because it's a big, like on his side was a big lineup of guys on their phones with their families, and then my side, who was people that were visiting. And he's like, "Holly, suck it up, suck it up." I'm like, okay, right? I was just so heartbroken, and I can't imagine how he felt. And like as time went on, his hair grew out all crazy, and he like, there was another time I went to visit him in jail, and like his face was all swollen and beat up. He showed me the inside of his mouth, the big old gash gone from the inside. There was like 5 dudes who shoved him into his cell where there was no cameras, and beat the living shit out of him. And he's not a rat, so he didn't tell anybody except for me. I'm like, "Can I tell somebody, please?" He's like, "Don't you dare tell anybody." I was like, "Okay." I had to listen to everything he said. Like, I couldn't go against it. I had to look out for his optimal safety in there. Like, you have to realize in there are gang affiliates, or they have their own little life in there. They have not little life, but they have their own thing going on in there. You know what I mean? And I had to follow Chris's rules. I couldn't. The only time I interfered was when he was put in the hole, and I called, and I would go crazy, and try and get him out. There was twice that I got him out. Twice, because I called flat out, and I was like, "Let my best friend out of the hole." Like, and then I listed off all these reasons that I was going to contact this person in government, this person. I was like, "He doesn't deserve to be down there." There was rat shit in the food. Like, literally down in the hole, they would give him food, and there was freaking rat shit in it. This building is from I think it's from the late 1700s. You can Google it. Her Majesty's Penitentiary in St. John's, Newfoundland. Oh my God. No windows, no courtyard, had to be inside. He had to be inside for like over a year. He got transferred then out to, on the other side of Newfoundland, to a different jail, which he wanted, because that jail is a little more relaxed. And it's more of like a dorm setting, whereas instead of in cells, they're more of like dorm settings, and apparently like it's safer at that one. And so he transferred. Obviously I couldn't go 14 hours. Like, Newfoundland is huge, okay? You may think Newfoundland is a little teeny tiny island. It takes over 14 hours to get from St. John's to Port aux Basques, which is the other side of the island. So he was over in Stephenville somewhere, which is not far from Port aux Basques. And so it would have taken like a 12-hour, 13-hour drive just for me to go visit him. And I couldn't financially afford it. I couldn't do it. I ran out of money. I used to have a lot of money from a car settlement, because I was in a car accident, and I blew it. I blew it all on friends. I blew it all on shit I didn't need. That's another story for another day. Don't blow your money. Save it. So fast forward to now. I just want to say how proud I am of Chris. He is out of jail. He did over 2 years, I believe it was. He's been out now for a few months. He's done his halfway house time. He's got his own apartment. He is a beautiful young man who has his whole life ahead of him. He has a little bit of work to do with his kids, because like I said, he's been incarcerated for over 2 years. It didn't break him. I asked him what he wanted me to tell you guys, and he said, There is always light. Always. There is always a light to grab onto mentally, okay? That's what gets you through. Knowing that, just having that belief, having that little bit of faith, that little bit of light. Chris said there is always a ray of hope. There is always a ray of light, okay? That's what he clung to. That's what kept him safe. His mindset. I'm not saying he wasn't scheming and scamming in there and doing what he had to do. He was probably doing what everybody else was doing. Do you know what I mean? But listen, he's out now. He's doing wonderful. He's working on his relationship with his kids. He's got his own place, and I am so proud of him. And it just goes to show, and I'm not going to say if he was guilty or if he was not guilty. I'm not going to say what his crime was. If I get permission from him, maybe I'll bring him on a video and he can talk about it with you guys for himself, and you could hear it from him. So anyways, he looks a little like me, actually. He looks a little like me. We're a little like twins. It's really strange. Like, if you look at Chris and me side by side, you kind of see the same person. It's really a little bit weird, because we're not related, obviously. And he's my best friend. He's my best friend. He looks out for me. No, we don't hang out all the time. No, we don't speak every single day on the phone. It's not really necessary. He's got his own things going on in his life right now that he's working on, and I am truly, truly proud of him. I am so proud of him. And yes, I did stick with him the entire time. I stuck with him, and I'm still with him, sticking with him. And I believe in him, and I know that he's going to do great things in his life, and I know that he's never going to fall back into the incarcerated situation. He's not. He made his mistakes. He paid his dues, and he held on to that ray of hope. That's what you got to do. No matter what you're going through in life, you got to hang on to that ray of hope, okay? You got to feel it. And that's my best friend, Chris. That's my best friend. And I'm just so proud of him. And that was the message he wanted me to tell you guys about the ray of hope and how he got through it. And yeah, that's about it. I hope I'm not forgetting to tell you anything. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can leave them down below. If you want to meet Chris, leave it down below. He would love to hear that. He would love to hear that people want to see him and people want to hear his story. I'm sure he would love to tell his story in his own words and what he wants to share with you guys and things like that. And he's just a beautiful person. And I'm truly grateful to have him in my life and to call him my friend. So that's the story for today. Thank you for watching. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos. If you have questions or you want me to talk about certain things on any subject, please comment. I'll get the notification and I'll check it. I'm not always the quickest on notifications. I do have a lot of mental health issues, so I do my best to be able to look at them and things like that. Now, and I don't even get, I'd be lucky if I get 1 or 2 comments. Do you know what I mean? I'd be lucky. And even those I struggle to reply to. So please be patient with me. It is my mental health. I will in another video discuss maybe what my mental health situation is. Maybe we'll dive into that someday. Maybe not. Depends what you want to see, what you want to hear. So everybody, take care. Have a beautiful weekend. You'll probably see me again before the weekend's over. West Coast, East Coast, baby. All right. Love and light, and take care. Bye.